Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. In the previous edition, or the last video covered, Pope Gregory, Pope Innocent, the civilization called the Albigenses, Dominic de Guzman, and the Fourth Crusade of the Roman Catholic Church, using the Dominicans as their instrument of war. In these videos intent, in this video particular, will be an inside edition of the ancient Waldensians, and how the Waldensians were impacted also during the Fourth Crusade of Pope Innocent III. So this will be a hard copy, an illustration, an inside look into the life of Peter Waldo during the Roman Crusades. And with the Most High's permission, and without further delay, the lesson titled, Where's Waldo? Let's begin. The Roman Inquisitions, an agency established in 1542, was designed chiefly to combat Protestantism, which was conceived and defined as heresy in Catholic territories. It was more successful in controlling doctrine and practices. The Waldensians, dating back to the 2nd century, and what makes them so significant, the Waldensians were a possessor of the Old Latin Bible, or called the Italic version. The WALDOs, also known as the Waldensians. Again, the WALDOs, being persecuted, these people for thousands of years made pilgrimage into the valleys of northern Italy, thus earning the name, the WALDOs, the people of the valley. The Waldensians being readers of the Latin Bible in the 12th century, Peter Waldo translated their Latin versions into the Romant, which is a mixture of Middle and Old French. And of course, the translation was rejected by the Roman Papacy under the orders of Pope Alexander III. Peter Waldo, along with his followers, were expelled in January 1179. Waldo, or Peter Waldo, and one of his disciples went to Rome, where they, or the two of them, were welcomed by Pope Alexander III in the Roman Curia, which is the institution administration, or the Holy See. They had to explain their faith before a panel of 3 clergymen, including issues which were then debated within the church, such as universal priesthood, and that was the difference of the ideology between the two. The Waldensians did not agree that the Holy See, or the Roman Catholic Church priesthood, had authority over, per se, spiritual issues, or control over someone else's belief. Okay, going back to the passage, the gospel in the Vulgate or local language, and the issues of voluntary poverty. The results of the meeting were inconclusive. The Pope affirmed the Waldensians' vow of poverty, but forbade them to continue preaching due to their status as lay people, meaning that the Pope issued a decree saying that the Waldensians could not preach or conduct any forms of ministry due to the fact that they were unordained or non-ordained members of the Roman Catholic Church. Peter Waldo and his followers revolted against the ban and increased their preaching and missionary efforts. They continued to gather followers and began proclaiming doctrines at odds with Catholicism, such as the right of all members, including women, to preach the scriptures without permission from church authorities. They also began preaching against purgatory, prayers for the dead, and indulgences. They were excommunicated by the Catholic Church. By the late 1180s, they were being pursued as heretics, again because they chose not to believe in the religious dogmas of the Roman Catholic Church. This persecution only increased their preaching against the Roman Catholic Church. The Waldensians developed a doctrine that forbid the use of weapons or of oaths, which led them to refuse any participation in Catholic rituals. The Catholic hierarchy accused them of apostasy, which is pretty much they accused them of treachery against the Roman Catholic Church for not believing what they wanted them to believe in. The most significant event of the Synod was the declaration of the papal bull, Ad Abolitum. So Pope Lucius III conducted a assembly or a synod written in Verona and issued in 1184. So this synod met to address issues over the empire and papacy in central Italy, further plans for crusades in different areas such as the Holy Land, to address disputes over investors for rival bishops. But again, the most important issue that was addressed was the ad bolium, which was issued or a prescribed penalty or penalties for heretical teachings and the abolishment of heresy. So starting back from the top, the most significant event of the Synod was the declaration of the papal bull ad abolium and the joint condemnation of Arnolist, Cathars, and Paterines, Humiliati, Josephini, Pasagini, and Waldensians as heretics. The Waldensians were charged for being in rebellion since they continued to preach despite being forbidden from doing so. The Synod also identified this group as part of the Humiliati, or poor men of lions, and put them in the same category as the Cathari and Paterines, anathematizing them in the process, pretty much cursing them or denouncing them. A decree was included, which is the ad adolium. A decree was included that detailed a system of trial and punishment for heretics. So being excommunicated, and not to exclude all the groups of people that were aforementioned, the Waldensians being excommunicated, hunted, persecuted, books and records burned, thus sparking the soon coming Reformation. And it looks like that's all the time we have. And all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, HaMashiach, the High Priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. And until next time, Yah willing, Shalom Lakem.